Hey, welcome everybody. This is Mark Schultz with DigitalAircraft, and we're here for another episode of Blockchain and Aviation. If you've been following this series, we have brought so much tremendous information, giving you strategies and tactics on how to be successful in blockchain and aviation. And if you remember on Friday, I had a guest about bringing NFTs into the business jet world. And we talked about how you can create utility through an NFT. And it was a very exciting discussion. And I really actually had people reaching out to me and telling me that they wanted more information about how to do that in their business and how to be successful in doing that. And so today what I'm doing is I'm bringing in a company which is called Chain of Fools. By the way, we're going to have to ask him where that came from. And this particular company, let's go ahead and bring the picture of him up. And I'm bringing to you today a gentleman by the name of Damon Tackett. And Damon Tackett is the founder of a company called Chain of Fools. And his background basically is he was a promoter for the Dallas Cowboys. And then he went on to be a promoter for sports personalities and did autograph signings and things like that. And since then, he's been involved in the Web3. Now, why do I bring somebody like this into our broadcast? Because what we need to do is we need to continue to learn from the industry, and we need to figure out about what people are doing to create success all around us so that we don't try to recreate that. What we do is we look at where the success is, and then we say, how do we apply that in aviation in order to be able to create success in our businesses? And so today what we're going to do is we're going to have a conversation with Damon about what he is doing in the industry and what he did to be able to help a company like EthJets to be successful, in their venture into utility NFTs. Let's go ahead and just bring him right in, and I'll introduce him to you. Hey, Damon, good morning. How are you, sir?
Hey, Mark, man. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, it's good to see you there. Hey, where are you located today?
I am in Dallas, Texas.
Hey, man, they had some rain there, didn't they?
Finally. We haven't had any since May, and then it started flooding like 2 days ago because, that's how Texas does. But fortunately, we're okay and no damage and, just back to work.
I heard they had 9 inches of rain in one day, and it was more than what you get in 6 months in some areas. That was unbelievable.
Absolutely.
So glad to have you with us. So I'm glad this worked out. Hey, listen, Damon, I always like for people right when we jump in to know who you are and what do you do. So could you just quickly tell people who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, Damon Tackett. I'm called OG Damon ETH on Twitter. I am a Web3 personality, and I am the founder of Chain of Fools, LLC. And basically, we are a Web3 company that focuses on community building, project management, stuff like that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Really good. We're going to get into a lot more detail, but everybody, the reason that I'm bringing Damon in is because he has real experience in creating of projects and moving forward on Web3 opportunities, and then learn in marketing those, and really a lot of success in that area. And so I think you're really going to find this really interesting. Hey, everybody, I like in this broadcast to know where people are watching from. We always have people watching all around the world. And, my passion is aviation. My passion is digital. And we're targeting blockchain and aviation. And there are so many of you that want to know about this. Would you please help me by sharing this stream? It really helps get the word out, and it helps us to be able to connect with more people, and for us all as a community to really grow and to be successful in this area. And also, what I'm going to ask next. I like to know who's watching. If you would, in the comment box down there, just put in there where you're watching from. We'll give you a shout out. We'll throw you up on the screen. And we just love to know who's out there watching and where you're watching from. We always have people all around the world, and it's just really cool, to know that we can connect like that. Damon, in the previous world, before we had all the internet, when you were doing these things, what was the best way that you connected with people? How did you network with people?
I mean, yeah, that's a great question. A lot of it was text messaging, email, and then Facebook came along, and everybody started to be able to keep up with each other that way. So I'm a little bit older. I've grown up around all this, and I'm having to learn a little bit more than the average young person these days. But I think I've done well with it, and yeah, I mean those are the ways I communicated.
Yeah. And what's really cool now is that I've been promoting this for years, but now it's amazing. We can connect with people all around the world through, mediums like this. I mean, we can do a live broadcast. I mean, right now we're streaming on LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and all over the place. And it's just amazing. And I have people usually from all corners of the world who join in. Hey, Damon, I wanted to, as we started this off, I just wanted to ask you, can you tell people a little bit about kind of your journey. Where did you come from and what did you do? And how did that evolve into promotion and execution of Web3 projects?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up right around a lot of people that are pretty big names in Web3 right now, and I can get to that later. Basically, I got a job with the Dallas Cowboys after college, and I moved out to Texas. I spent 6 years with them, and part of what I did was a lot of like event hosting and stuff like that. So I'd be out on the Cowboys field about the season, excited about the team, excited about where everything's going. And, I just kind of realized early on I had a pretty good public speaking capability. And from there, I was like, you know what? I can do my own events. So I left the Dallas Cowboys. I took all my relationships with me, being a lot of the NFL players. And I just started doing my own events. And we would do autograph signings on game weekends around the stadium, charity events. I did a big basketball game one year, Dallas Cowboys legends versus stars. And I had like Des Bryant, who we will also talk about later. He's in the NFT game now. And Michael Irvin, who were two of the biggest names in sports. And they each were captain of a team. And I don't know, man, it's just, I started from there. And then my friends that I grew up with in Virginia have always been ahead of the curve. My buddy Jimmy Eath got me into all this. He's been my best friend since we were little kids. And he's one of those dudes that has always been early. And he taught me everything. He was the one that got me on Facebook the first day. So if that gives you any kind of, idea. But he taught me everything about Web3. And I was like, you know what? I can do this in Web3 also. All I have to do is find something I believe in. And as long as I believe in it and, I see it going great places, I can sell it. So
wait, you're not a 20-year-old. Isn't this just for young people?
No, man. I mean, I'm in my early 40s. But yeah, man. I mean, listen, I'm an OG. So I'm at the top of that. Those younger kids can get in line.
Yeah,
and,
people don't know what an OG is. Tell people what an OG is. You've made reference to that a couple of times.
Yeah, man. An OG is somebody who's been around the block, somebody who's street smart, somebody who, can read people and, knows how to protect themselves. And that applies to Web3 because, I've been scammed in Web3. Like I've done, like basically all the bad stuff that could happen happened to us. So we call ourselves OGs because we've already been through all of it.
Okay, well, good. Hey, listen, I got to ask you one more thing. First of all, Where did the name Chain of Fools come from? I mean, how did that happen?
No, awesome. Great question. And great story. I'll make it quick. So Jimmy Eath encouraged us to create an alpha group with all our friends, and anybody that we meet in Web3 can come and hang out and we can talk about projects and stuff like that. So we needed a name, which was funny because while we were trying to figure out our name, we were trying to onboard a lot of people into Web3, family members, friends, anyone. And some of those people called us foolish for messing with all this. All right. But then like right after that, we started doing really well and it just blew up and, we had money and like, it was just crazy. And so we were like, you know what? We're the Chain of Fools. Okay. You want to hate on us? That's fine. We're going to celebrate it. So that's how that came about.
Excellent. I love it. I actually love it. So, hey, listen, I mentioned to people earlier that on Friday, I had Nick Scott with EthJets on the broadcast. And I know the story about how you met Nick in an online space. And then you guys decided to partner together. And so tell us a little bit about your relationship with EthJets, because we want to sort of dig into that. As somebody that has an idea, Nick Scott had an idea and he said, I need to do this. And he didn't really know exactly how to execute on that idea. And I want to talk to people about how you surround yourself with knowledgeable people that have done things and that are driven or like-minded and create success. So talk to us a little bit about your relationship with EthJets and sort of how that evolved into where they are today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nick Scott didn't just have an idea. He had an amazing idea. It was something that I wanted to be a part of. And I get approached a lot by a lot of projects wanting me to come in and be a part of it. And I turn a lot of those down because I don't believe in them. And I was getting to the point where it was getting a little frustrating But then, the universe has a weird way of doing things and sending people to you and putting people in your circle. And Nick showed up on one of my Twitter spaces talking about his idea. So I woke up the next day thinking about it, and I don't do that. Like, I have a lot of projects come on. There was something unique here. So I took it back to a lot of people in the chain of fools, a lot of smart people in there. So I needed second eyes, and they were all like, wow, this is actually pretty innovative. And from there, I was like, all right, cool. I hit up Nick and I was like, look, man, I want to be a part of this. And from there, he didn't really know what to do. So Steady Freddy was with me. He's another personality in the EthJets family. And Steady Freddy's amazing at doing what we do. So I was like, let's work with Freddie. And I gave him a blueprint. I was like, we need to start doing this. We need a Discord. We need a Twitter account. We need a Twitter space. The website has to have all this info. So we built a foundation for that. And that's how I got started with Nick. And I've been introducing him to a lot of different projects where potential partnerships could come out of it. It's just been a lot of fun. I really believe in the EthJets project, and we're going to make this work, and it's going to be a big deal.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more because, I think that bringing business jets together with crypto and NFTs, utility NFTs, as we've talked about for weeks here on blockchain and aviation, is really a solid idea because there's so many people that would like to have, business jet travel. I was looking this morning, I have to actually get from San Francisco to Miami, to speak at 2 different conferences, and I have to fly commercial. And the only way I'm going to get there is to do a red eye overnight. And I said to myself, if I only had access to a business jet, I could get to those 2 places and I could actually arrive rested instead of being in a red eye flying overnight. And so I just,
you also have to worry about that flight not even happening.
Yeah. Or getting
especially these days. One of our people in the EthJets team, Meg, hit us up yesterday, and she's like, hey guys, I'm on another commercial flight. Can we go ahead and get this thing rolling? And I get it because, we're not like the whole thing with the private jet thing is it creates convenience, and it can also be done in a manner to where we can take advantage of things like the empty legs. So if you needed to get to Miami from San Fran and one of our jets was in San Francisco and already had to fly to Miami, you could ride on that for free potentially, depending on what pass you were holding.
Yeah.
So there's just so much that's coming from this project. I love it.
I couldn't agree with you more. The idea was really just amazing. And, honestly, about a year ago, and I'm going to tell you this on purpose, is that about a year ago, my wife came to me and said, you need to start like a crypto private jet company. Okay. And I'm like, wow, that's a great idea. I should do that. Now, I want to ask all of you watching out there, how many times have you said, oh, that's a great idea, I should do that, and then never did anything about it? And you see that popping up all over the place.
Hey, what's the saying? The best laid plans of mice and men. Have you heard that one?
And so what we want to talk about today is, listen, there's so many people that I work with. I work with thousands, tens of thousands of people in the aviation industry, and every one of them have good ideas. And listen, Damon, one of the reasons I do this broadcast is I want to help people to get their good ideas out so that people can hear about them and we can engage and we can grow as a community and we can be successful in implementing our good ideas, because I'm passionate about digital and aviation. And I want there to be efficiency in aviation. I want it to be successful. All right. And so one of the reasons that I brought you on today is I want to talk about that is that, listen, a lot of people have good ideas and they don't execute on them. Just for a minute, let's talk about, why do people not move forward with some of these things? I mean, they're afraid of the risks. They think the market's down. I mean, what are some of the challenges you see out there where people come to you and go, oh, I got this good idea, or I got this good thing, but they're not moving forward? Why are they not moving forward?
I would say with Web3, it's because people are instantly scared of something they don't fully understand. Okay. And from my experience, dive in anyways. Okay. There's going to be plenty of time to learn about all that. You don't need to understand the technology behind smart contracts, all that. You need to have people you can work with that understand that technology eventually. Okay. But that's all a part of team building. I would say the main thing that keeps people away is they're afraid to try something new and they're afraid to fail. But I have been dealing with so many people in this space that don't care about failing. Okay. They're going to do this. All right. And if they fail, they fail. All right. They learned, but everybody that I've been working with so far, I mean, there's projects out there like Personal Corner, which is Des Bryant's project, EthJets. These are all big idea projects that require a lot of working parts that these teams put together and got off the ground. So I would say, don't be scared. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And just, take it slow, meet some new people, learn some new things, and then build from there. Don't just try to jump in and say, I'm going to start Web3 when you have no idea what it's about. Spend a little time learning about it.
Yeah, to leverage on that, Damon, I had a conference call this week actually with Nick Scott and a business jet owner operator, a broker, and that person said that I've been wanting to get into NFTs, and this is just such a amazing space, but I just don't know how to do it. And I just think there's so many people out there that are in that place, in that position. And so, finding a way to do that is really important. Now, I have this conversation with people all the time. As entrepreneurs, guess what? We think we can tackle the world by ourselves. We want to just do everything on our own, right? Okay. And we have difficulty bringing other people in because maybe other people don't move fast enough, or we're trying to, do everything by ourselves. And so, how do we overcome that difficulty of bringing in parties from the outside to be able to help us to create success on our babies that we have?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. It's all about the relationships you make, the people you meet. The more you learn about NFTs and crypto and Web3, you'll learn about a lot of great people behind a lot of great projects. And if you can learn from those people and, get into their network somehow, and, you could eventually start working with these people on future projects. So networking is the biggest part. And you've got to have a team. You're not going to be able to do this on your own. There's just too many working parts, especially right now. I'm assuming all this will be streamlined eventually, and we won't have to deal with things like Twitter Spaces in order to promote. We won't have to have the Discord in order to communicate. There's going to be things that change along the way, but right now it matters. You have to have the good people around you. Know who you're working with. Make sure they don't have a shady past. Your entire project could be ruined if it's attached to some scammer from another project. So and that's the other best part about EthJets. I know everybody I'm working with. I see them face to face. We talk. There's no mystery there. So, team building, networking, very important.
Yeah, and Damon, I brought a couple of people on this broadcast in the last few weeks, and one of them was Air Baltic, and they had launched some commemorative NFTs, and they were attaching their loyalty program to it. There's a few other airlines out there who have already launched loyalty programs to their NFTs. I had another company on the broadcast, which was TravelX, and they created the very first airline ticket NFT, and they auctioned it off, and the first one sold for over $1 million, $1 million and $2,000. It was just incredible. But you know what? I think what you're telling me though is that it's not about the fact that you have an NFT. It's about the fact that it's really a business, and that business has what we call today an NFTs utility. And so if you have a solid idea with solid utility, we can bring Web3 technologies around that to help create synergies of success by leveraging the momentum of those Web3 technologies. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. And utility is one of the biggest parts of NFTs. And I think a lot of people overlook stuff like that. I'll give you a few examples of great utility and why it's great. EthJets obviously is creating a membership around private chartered jets. It's also got a community wallet that they're creating, which when we own our own fleet and we put those to work, that money is going to go back to our community. All this is explained in EthJets.io. I'm not going to go too heavily into it because I want you guys to DYOR, but it's just unique. Okay. Now, Des Bryant, former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, definitely a future Hall of Famer. He is a pioneer in this. I don't feel like enough people give him enough credit, but I saw it because I used to do the autograph signings. An athlete, an NFT project is perfect. You have all types of utility that you can offer your fans: autographed items, player appearances, IRL events. And on Friday night, I get to go to Des Bryant's private suite at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium and watch a game with him because I'm a holder of his NFT. So there's going to be other people in the suite that are holders to that as well. That's an example of utility. I've taken
Damon, just something real quick, as I just wanted to add this in there, is that very first for me, on Friday night, I was watching television and a TV commercial came on for sports card collectible NFTs. First time I've ever seen one. It was during primetime TV. There was just like a year ago when I saw crypto.com do their first commercial, before the Super Bowl. Now we're seeing NFT collectibles and sports cards on the television. This is no longer in the background. This is coming to the foreground right now. I mean,
I got my start with NFTs and NBA Top Shot, which is, online digital collectible moments. Instead of cards, you've got like a video moment. And these things are amazing. And then the NFL has NFL All Day. DraftKings does a lot with athletes. So you're seeing it. But the point I'm trying to make is Dez was early on that. Okay, so we need to give him some love. And EthJets was early. You see all these airline companies doing all this stuff. I've been paying attention. EthJets was one of the first to come up with this whole thing. Now everybody else is trying to do their own thing and add utility, but those two, in my opinion, were early. So utility is important. What are you going to get out of this NFT you're holding? All right, which is why DYOR, do your own research, is important. Because if you buy into an NFT project and they're giving all their proceeds to save panda bears or something, I love panda bears, but you might not. You might not want that utility. So you wouldn't buy into that. You'd find a project that is more fitting to what you love, like sports, music, a lot of music NFT stuff going on. So yeah, man, it's exciting.
I've been involved in raising capital in a lot of different areas for many, many years. And, the main thing that we always say is that if the project is solid, the money will come. All right. If you got a bad project, people run away from it. Okay. And the same thing applies in NFTs. If you got a good project, if you got good utility, people are going to come around it and the business is going to grow, from that. And by adding a vehicle like NFTs and its utility, to our good products and services that we already have, we have the opportunity to raise that up and make it available to so many more people, in the Web3, kind of space.
Can I give you one more example? And it's kind of a special day for me. Look, another example of utility came to me in the mail. There's a project called Kingship, which is my buddy Jimmy East's project. And they basically took his Bored Apes and created a band. Well, they announced a partnership with M&Ms. And they sent me this. I mean, look at this. Those are NFTs on the box of M&Ms. This is going to be a collector's item one day.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You know what I mean? This is just an example,
Hey, listen, Damon, people look at those Bored Apes. Now, listen, if you're out there today and you've seen Bored Ape NFTs, you look at them, if you're not in that world and you go, what the heck is this? And why would people pay for that? All right. Why would somebody pay $250,000, $1 million or whatever, for a Bored Ape NFT? Well, guess what? You just showed me why right there.
Well, so that's part of the Kingship project. Now, Bored Ape is one of the pioneers in this game because IP rights. And they allowed you to take your Bored Ape or your Mutant Ape or your Mutant Ape or your Bored Ape Kennel Club dog, and you could use those. You could put them on T-shirts. You could put them on M&M boxes. You could turn them into a band. And I'm sorry, I keep showing corporate logos. I don't know if that's going to mess you up. But what I'm trying to tell you is the whole. It feels like everybody is catching on to this, and you're seeing it everywhere. All these big brands and stuff. So. That's an example of utility. I got this and I can, collect it or I can eat it. Either way, you got utility out of it.
Okay. So, but let me ask you this, is that in aviation, aren't we behind right now? I mean, aren't we falling behind?
Yeah. Everybody is, not just the aviation industry. There's so many industries out there. I'm just like waiting for them all to be blockbuster. You know what I mean? I'm like, why is Nike ahead of the game and announcing partnerships with Artifact? And why is Adidas announcing partnerships with Prada or Gucci? I can't remember which one it is. But why are the other ones not? Okay. It's because they don't have visionaries running their corporate areas, their marketing, their business development. They're not seeing it yet.
Yeah. So, people look at the crypto market though right now and they go, yeah, but the crypto market is down and this is just another form of a token, right? And so aren't I entering into a risky space if I'm saying that I'm entering into this blockchain NFT crypto world?
I mean, everything's a risk, man. I mean, your 401k is a risk. Ask everybody that's looking at low 401k numbers right now with the economy. You just gotta find the risk that's not going to ruin your life. So start out small. Don't ever dive headfirst pocketbook money into anything. You should always be smart about that. I hope that's common sense, but
Fools is, and what are you really doing in this space? What is the real business, and how do you help people in this space?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started as an alpha group. A lot of our community is onboarded into NFTs and Web3, but during our time growing, we met a lot of people out there, in person, in spaces, a lot of bright minds, and we brought them in as well. So those guys have helped teach a lot of our community members about everything that goes into an NFT project. Chain of Fools, I would say, I've got alpha that I can drop on us. We've got some huge things on the way. I'm not going to release that yet because we're not there. And, I want to under promise, over deliver. But right now we're basically just, projects are approaching us and they're like, look, I've got, 100,000 followers on Twitter. I've got 50,000 people in my Discord. But, we're not moving any NFTs. So, maybe we would come on a consultancy basis and show them, some different things they can do to help move sales. Or, maybe like one of these brands is like trying to get into the game and they don't know what to do. They would reach out to us and we could give them a blueprint for how to build on that. And we can give them examples, educate, all that.
So basically what you're telling me is that, somebody's sitting there with an idea and they're saying that we want to move forward with some kind of crypto blockchain NFT project. And if they're in this space where they're saying we want to add NFTs, to our product line or our service line and connect those and leverage the momentum of what's happening in Web3, that they can come to Chain of Fools, they can come to you and say, help us with this idea, help us with the approach, help us with the technical as well, or?
Yeah, I mean, listen, EthJets is a good example. I mean, a lot of that team started out being pieced together from people I knew in the Chain of Fools community. We've got Sean, Mr. Gray in there, who is working on, he handles our website and he works on the app with Mike a lot. He was in Chain of Fools. Steady Freddy was in Chain of Fools, and Steady is an expert on community building and Discord security, all these things. So we had people there that could help with these projects. Now, I'll be honest, right now, that is kind of informal because we are headed in a totally different direction from that. That's just kind of what we're doing right now. But we would like to onboard artists, musicians, photographers, people that are already out there that are not in the NFT community that already have a following. So we've been working really hard on that. We've got some new things launching, and we're going to bring some famous people into the space. And that's where that's
what about an airline, or what about an airline company, or how does that fit in? Because I'm being blunt, because the people, my community is 23,000 people strong. We've had 150,000 people watch this broadcast by now over the last 8 weeks. How can those people benefit from the kind of thing that you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I would say that we're probably the best place to start. Okay, if like Nick is a perfect example from EthJets. He had an idea and he didn't know what to do with it. So he started exploring and talking about it. And through that process, he came to the Chain of Fools. And a lot of people were like, we can help him make this work. And that's what we did. So I'm really proud of Chain of Fools' involvement with EthJets, because EthJets is turning out to be such a great project. Most of our work was in the beginning with just the community building and the blueprint for what they needed. And right now, EthJets is kind of running on their own, but we got them started. So
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, like I said earlier, my passion is aviation and digital, and the fact that people can come together and help one another to create success, in the aviation space is what it's all about. Damon, I believe that we need to create connections in life. Okay. Like, we're creating a connection now with many people, through social media, but we need to create connections, and aviation and air transportation connects people, whether we're connecting family and friends or whether we're connecting through business, we're connecting, and we need to connect with people. And it's an essential part of the success of, so many things all around us. And if we can create efficiency in aviation or new aviation opportunities like EthJets is getting people into business jets, we're connecting people. And so one of the things that's exciting to me is that we're really helping to be able to connect people around the world by creating efficiency within travel transportation.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if you bought like an American Airlines token that is all your future airline tickets. Okay. And anytime you schedule something, that information gets built into the contract or something. You know what I mean? There's just like, I don't even know if that's possible. I'm hypothetically thinking, I do this a lot, but I mean, these are things that need to be explored. Okay. Nobody wants to stand at that freaking kiosk and put their card in and get a printed one. Okay. And I don't even know how much people love using their phones. Have you seen people get up to freaking TSA and then their screen dies or whatever, and then they have to open it back up? I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying there's a better way. And I feel like the airline industry needs to figure it out.
I couldn't agree with you more, because TravelX, is entering into that space. And one of the things that they're doing is they're allowing that NFT airline ticket to be able to be traded. They're talking about trading it for another flight. They're talking about trading it for, another crypto, giving it to another family member. Eventually, they're going to allow it to be traded across an exchange, with other airlines. And so, we're finding ways in industry to utilize and leverage NFTs. And listen, there's so many places that same concept can be applied, all across the industry to the valuable products and services that everybody has. The possibilities are really unlimitless, at this point.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. Very good. Hey, listen, let's put up their contact information. If people want to get a hold of the company Chain of Fools, want to get a hold of Damon, let's put that up on the screen. Damon, best place to get a hold of you is on Twitter. Is that correct?
Yeah. Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I'm in the Chain of Fools Discord. I'm in the EthJets Discord a lot more because, we're up and running with that project. But yeah, any of those, just reach out. You can go to chainoffools.io. You can request to join our Discord there. Your application will be reviewed within 24 hours, and 99% of the time you're let in, unless we feel like, you're a bot or a scammer or something like that. But do that. Start there. And bring your ideas to our Discord. Say just like Nick did on our Twitter space. Say, come to our Discord, tell us you have an idea, and watch how quick people start jumping in and saying, yeah, we could do this, we could do this, we could do that.
Perfect.
And that's when all the fun starts.
Perfect. Well, that's exciting. Listen, I really appreciate what you're doing and how you're bringing success from outside the aviation industry into the aviation industry, because we can really learn from that. And that success can really be created when we leverage the knowledge of people around us. I've always been a proponent of that. So I really thank you for doing that. Hey, before I let you go, I want to just pop up how people can get in touch with us. So I'm Mark Schultz with DigitalAircraft, and we're all over the place on social media. You can get in touch with us at any of these places. The best place to do it usually is on LinkedIn, where we're 23,000 strong, but we do have a YouTube channel. And by the way, if you want to watch any of the replays of these live broadcasts, they're all there on YouTube at Digital Aircraft 1. And so you can go there and you can take a look at all the previous ones that we have. So listen, I really appreciate you coming on board with us today. And Damon, what you're doing is so valuable, and we are going to be looking forward to following you and what you're doing and the successes that you're having. So I wish you my best in your business.
Hey, I appreciate you, Mark. I'm going to be keeping an eye on you too, brother. I love the work you're doing as well.
Great. Good. Hey, listen, before I go, one more thing. I just want to show people what's coming up this week. We have one more broadcast this Friday, and then that's the conclusion of week 7. And we're going to be talking about bringing your blockchain ideas to life. I'm going to bring a couple of my business partners on, and we're going to be talking about, a leverage off of what Damon's just been telling us here today. And then Monday, I'm bringing back my very first guest that I had on the first episode. He's with Earhart Solutions. They have an amazing aviation blockchain solution. And then we're going to be bringing all this together in the middle of the week on really the awareness of blockchain in aviation and where do we go now. And then finally, my final broadcast is I'm going to bring in a guest who's currently involved in the City of Blockchain initiative in Vienna from Model University, which is a big initiative to bring blockchain to entire cities. And that's how we're going to look forward to the future. You're not going to want to miss the rest of the broadcasts. And that'll bring us to 24 broadcasts that we've done over 8 weeks. It's been a journey, man, and we're committed to it, Damon.
I see that. Hard work.
It is. It really is. Hey, everybody, thanks for coming on today. I appreciate it. I'm Mark Schultz with Digital Aircraft. I always conclude by saying fair winds and following seas to you, and everybody have a great day. Thanks, Damon, and I wish you the best in your ventures. Bye for now.
You too, man.